sitting on for a hot minute, and I am very passionate about. This is the ASMR book tag. I love old school YouTube tags and all that kind of stuff, and I love the ASMR community, and I love the way that the ASMR community is very connecting, and I felt like combining a little bit of old school YouTube, ASMR, booktube into one and do a little book tag. I gathered 25 questions in regards to books and book triggers, and I have 10 quick-fire this or that questions to end it off. I made a PDF file that you can find in the description box. I'll also insert a photo here, screenshots, so you can, as an ASMRtist, you can do the tag. Also, if I didn't tag you, please, 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 please feel free to do the tag. That's all I want. But if you are not an ASMRtist, you can use these questions as journal prompts, or in a book club, or in a classroom, or with friends. I think these are very fun questions to get to know each other's tastes and to get some good recommendations. I have tagged a lot of different ASMRtists in the description box. If you're one of the ASMRtists that I tagged, hi, thank you for watching this. I've either tagged you because I've either seen you make book content, or I feel like your impact on the community is large. I like your vibe. I like what you represent. And I feel like you probably have some very good book recommendations. And I am nothing if not nosy. So I'm just super curious to learn more about your tastes. If you do not feel like you have the time, or it suits your channel and what it represents, or it fits your video style, let's say, I totally get that. I just wanted to tag you because I admire what you do, and I want this to be a connecting type of video. If there will be more book tags, I will be sure to make a playlist where you can find all of them, and I'll come back to this. I'll put it in the description box as well. So, without any further ado, let's dive into the questions. It's funny because I've been so busy gathering the questions and finding the ASMRtists that I want to tag and practicing what I wanted to say, because I wanted to get the message across properly, that I forgot that I have to answer them as well. So bear with me. I have my laptop right over there, so I'll be reading the questions off my screen. First question: when did you start reading, and what's your relationship to reading? I was a very big reader as a child. I remember my mom telling me that I was able to read at a very young age, so slay. But after high school, during my studies, I kind of gave up on reading because I had to read so many school books and we had required reading. I started to not like it anymore. But then last summer, or I think in May, I started reading again because I picked up Girl, Woman, Other by Bernadine Evaristo, because I liked Jack Edwards' YouTube channel and he recommended that book, and I was so intrigued by the story that I just thought I'd pick it up and try, and I haven't stopped reading since, so that's good. My relationship to reading now is that I read every day pretty much, but sometimes it's was I had a goal of 30 books this year, and I'm at 26. So I think I'll reach it. I might bump it to 50. I don't know, but I really didn't expect to be reading this much. But I'm just enjoying it so much, and I'm kind of on a roll, so I'm going with it. 3. What genre do you enjoy reading the most, and why? Now, I cannot for the life of me pick one genre, so I got my genres off of Goodreads that I have on my profile there, and that's historical fiction, classics, history, music, philosophy, psychology, romance, and spirituality. I think that I like fiction the most, or classics, but also romance and spirituality, and then also history. So, do with that what you will. 4. What's your favorite book of all time, and why? Of course, that's the impossible question, but I think that it's this one. I'll grab it for you. I've talked about this book on my channel before, but it's probably Open Water by Caleb Azuma Nelson. It's a novella, but this is a story about 2 black young British people in London, and it's a love story. It's a story about black trauma, and it's very poetically and very raw in its writing. That wasn't an English sentence, but that's okay. I just really, really love this book. I've reread it recently, and yeah, this book makes me feel all the feels, so it's my favorite, I think, if I have to choose. Then 5. What's the worst book you've ever read? Well, that was also pretty recent, because I have to say I'm never really, I'm critical about books, but I'm never like, this is an awful book, what the heck? But this was an awful book, what the heck? Still, I can say positive things about it, but I didn't enjoy this story at all. This is The Giant Dark by Sarvatasin, and this is a loose retelling of the story of Odysseus and Eurydice. Is that the right? Are those the right people? I think so. But this was a very, very loose retelling, and I just didn't get the plot. One of the Goodreads reviews on this was no plot, just vibes, but this had no vibes for me either, so. Then, what is your favorite book-related trigger? Show us. Now, I really like textured books, and I had one and I sold it, so I don't have that one anymore. So I think that one of my favorite book triggers then is tapping on paperbacks, but I specifically like it when they have the velvety cover. Like this is paperback, but it feels velvety. This is Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. I'm yet to read it, but it sounds good. I also enjoy tracing, so Mansfield Park. I also find myself tapping on books while I read them, so I'll be sitting Question number 7. Who is your favorite author and what draws you to their writing? I'm gonna grab my favorite book again. I think that this is written by Caleb Azuma Nelson. Like I said, it's very raw in its writing, it's very poetically written, it's very, it feels very naked, it's very vulnerable, and beside you. You wonder how long this moment could stretch for, and how much it could contain you. You, her, the soft rush of cars speeding in the darkness, the gaze seeing each other here, her heartbeat near audible before she says, I love you, you know. She has swum out into open water, and it is not long before you join her. You take but a moment before saying, I love you too. I love this man so much. best friends to lovers, second chance romance type of stuff. Love that. I gobble it up. Hi. As I was editing this, I realized that I completely forgot to answer question 21. I'm so sorry, but I want to include it, of course. So, question 21 is, what's a book that you've read that you would recommend it to everyone? First of all, I would recommend The Song of Achilles to fully break your heart, make you cry, make you feel in love. It's based off of the Iliad, and if you're into Greek mythology, etc., I would recommend that one. Beautiful prose. So, yes, that one. Also, Girl, Woman, Other, the book that got me back into reading, follows various different black women in the UK, I believe only. Yes, they're all in the UK. They are all interconnected. They have crazy stories, beautiful stories, and I love her writing style, so highly recommend. Very powerful feminist novel. Chef's kiss. Also, Jane Eyre, but I've mentioned that one earlier in the video. For a classic, I think it's not difficult to read it. It's a beautiful coming-of-age story. I've talked about it in other videos before. For romance, I would recommend The Kiss Quotient. It has a lot of spice. One of the main characters is on the autism spectrum. It's Pretty Woman in Reverse. And if you are a musician, I would recommend reading Just Kids by Patti Smith, which is a beautiful memoir, and it's about her relationship to Robert, who was her partner for a long time, and her muse in many ways. And they had a beautiful relationship, and I highly recommend it. Patti Smith is a beautiful writer in song and in books. Like, really, really, really good. So, those are my recommendations. 22. Do you prefer standalone books or series, and why? I think that I mostly read standalone books, so I would say I prefer those, but I think that if you have a good series and you get into it, that's an experience on a whole different level. But what I like about standalones is that you don't get potential disappointment in a second book, because sometimes the second one isn't as good as the first one. So I forgot about my iced chai. If you think this looks disgusting, I understand, but this is cinnamon. 23. Do you have a favorite book to movie adaptation? Yes, I do. I have multiple. Firstly, Harry Potter. Duh. Also Hunger Games. That was an amazing, amazing book to movie adaptation, and I liked the series that they made out of the book Normal People by Sally Rooney. So, 24. What's a book that you've been meaning to read for a long time but you haven't gotten around to yet? You guys probably read this in high school or something. This is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, and this was required reading for me when I studied English in college, but I just didn't, because the second a book is required reading, I don't want to read it. Passionately don't want to read it. Like, I'll actively try not to. I don't know where that resistance comes from, but yeah, I still want to read it. I've read like 50 pages about 5 times, and I'm determined to get through it at one point. But yeah, hashtag